Hello my friends, there is some smoke here. That's the Russian best fighter jet Sukhoi Su-57, which is still, I would say, experimental one, and the experiment went not well this time. The airplane was patrolling the Moscow skies, was fighting against Ukrainian drones, and probably was shot down by their own air defense, or as the Russian officials say, there was a technical malfunction. And we have one more image showing a parachute, so pilot is okay-ish. Well, Putin says that Sukhoi 57 is the best fighter jet in the world, of course, especially then you made not more than 15 of them, and they're still wet, you cannot full-scale produce them. They're all different, one airplane from another, they always try to improve those, but de facto Russia cannot replace older jets with Sukhoi 57, no, it's too early, and the project, it takes decades already. By the time United States already built Raptor, they built F-35, which is a bestseller, and they're planning to build what? F-47? Well, that's other thing. But anyways, here we have minus one more Sukhoi 57 of the Russian Air Force or Airspace Forces. It's not the first one Russia loses in this war. Okay, allegedly this video was filmed by Russians. Allegedly it's the Moscow region and Russia is launching those drone interceptors to fight against Ukrainian drones coming. But Russia lost the control over their own drones. They launched drones. So far looks legit, I would say. But here they say that they lost control over the drone. Well, I know Russian, they discuss that they have issues with control, that the drone is coming to hit something like some ground target there. What kind of the target? We don't know. The information is coming from Inform Napalm Ukrainian channel. This is not a Russian flag here. This is the artificial horizon, which seems to be not working properly because on the screen you see a huge bank angle and here there is nothing. No roll. It's stable here. So they lose control and they gain control, then they lose control again. Well, the video is, I would say, also could be a Ukrainian psyop, honest, because we are not sure whether those are Russians. We cannot identify those persons because they wear masks and the geolocation is absent, and I wonder why would Russians film and publish their fuck up just like that? That their drone and communication system has been hacked, they lost the control, like why would they put it into the internet? I don't understand it. Well, maybe we'll have some of the extra information from our OSINTs and they might clarify whether it's the legit video or not. And my friends, an important announcement. As usual, press like to this video. Just right now, press it. It helps a lot. And also subscribe to the channel because we're on the way to reach 1 million subscribers. And if you have the opportunity and willing to support my job, you are very welcome to join Patreon. The link for it is in the video description right below, or join membership by pressing button join right below if you watch me on YouTube. My friends, you are amazing. Thank you so much for making this content possible, and let's continue with the video.
I'll note that recently we had the first air-to-air kill where a Ukrainian F-16 shot down a Russian fighter. I'll note.
So we have the confirmation from General Kane, who is, I think, one of the main generals of the United States, yeah? If not the main general, he is always at the press conferences with Pete Hegseth. The confirmation that Russian Sukhoi Su-35, and this is a really outstanding airplane, was shot down by F-16. And F-16 is not even close to the performance of Sukhoi Su-35. Nevertheless, the air battle confirmed with Ukrainian success. It happened a couple of weeks ago and the Ukrainian military command posted the information about this successful mission, and I'm very happy that Ukraine has introduced these American tactics. What does it mean? Well, the United States, they also have those outdated airplanes like F-16s. They don't have F-35s everywhere. So potentially the United States might face a prevailing force enemy, like for example Russia with their Sukhoi Su-35, and they have the best radars out there. Sukhoi Su-35 may shut down jets very far away, and flying F-16 you may not spot Sukhoi Su-35 at all before it fires missile to you. So there should be a system of AWACS radars and many of the F-16s to hunt, let's say, those Russian jets, and it was important for Ukrainian pilots and for Ukrainian entire system to understand how to do it, how to fight against prevailing enemy without the air superiority. And Russia has actually more of the fighter jets, but the problem for Russia that their tactics is to use those fighter jets just occasionally. Also, Russia lost lots of the AWACS raiders. Now they fly them, but mostly for the air defense purposes, like for example, Russian A-50 AWACS helped to shut down FP-5 Flamingo missile that was flying very far deep to Russia. But closer to the front lines, Su-35 either drop bombs on Ukrainian positions, those aviation gliding bombs, or they just back up Su-34 Russian bombers, which also drop the aviation gliding bombs on Ukrainian positions. And this was a game changer for Russians dropping those bombs, because Ukraine just cannot intercept those bombs. There is no such an air defense system, especially it's not possible to deploy it very close to the front line. So the only solution is to shut down Russian fighter jets. And for the first time this month it was done by fighter jets which are outdated compared to the Russian fighter jets. And this tells that Ukraine has already implemented this Western strategy in how to perform many of F-16s in some of the part of the space, how to use maybe even sub-radar systems to communicate with those F-16s, to extend the range of the radars, to spot Russian fighter jets and to nail them down. And it's just the beginning. I'm sure that with Gripens and with Meteor missiles, which might fly for a very, very long range, after all, Ukraine will have a great chance to eliminate the threat of those aviation gliding bombs that continue to be the main tool for the Russian attack operations on the front lines. The situation with the Russian logistics, here you can see a Russian flag and something is burning. Yeah, it is happening every day, all the day, and tells that Russia is not reaching the goal of the special military operation. We just cross-checked the situation on the front lines yesterday or today. I've told you about it. And there is the complete bog down of the Russian forces on the front lines. If they advance somewhere, the advancements, they're very, very tiny, with the small infiltration attack groups, and basically the backup for the Russian armed forces, it is not getting to them. Well, at least that massively as before. Today I'm gonna record one more video saying that Russia is freaking... It seems like it's losing everywhere, guys. Well, at the same time, it's early to say that Ukraine is winning, because the Ukrainian army needs reforms, and without reforms, the Ukrainian army is similar to the Russian one. And people, they're still protesting. They want Fedorov to return. And again, it's not just about Fedorov, it's about the general situation. Like, we need reforms. Reforms were already working or started to be working with Fedorov, and now it is even greater chance for them to succeed and to change the situation completely for good for Ukraine, especially when Mikhailo Drapati was appointed as the general commander of the Ukrainian armed forces. So the perspectives for Ukraine are great, and now it's up to just one man, who is the president of Ukraine, to make the proper decision. Yeah, so people in Ukraine, they're still protesting on the streets in many of the cities, including the capital city of Kiev. Zelensky changed Syrskyi. He thought that it's gonna calm people, but no, people need the perfect recipe for the victory against Russia, because they saw the changes, they felt the changes, and the changes should be done not just in the Ukrainian army, but also in mobilization itself. Mobilization was controlled by Syrskyi, and I post several of the videos on my Telegram page how terrible it is happening, and Fedorov has the proper answer to mobilization issue. He said about it on his briefing. Basically, you need to reform Ukrainian army at first, and there should be no midwave practice and no gang practice. There should be the value of human life first of all, and only that is how people might go there voluntarily, without any sort of the dragging them to the buses. So-called bussification is happening still in Ukraine. That was organized by Syrskyi and his team. And of course, Ukrainian government politicians. I guess I'm sorry for telling you about the situation, but it's the most important one for Ukraine since the start of the war. And the big mistakes should be avoided. So Fedorov, he was proposed by Zelensky some of the deputy prime minister position to monitor military contracts, but that position is just, to take photo with Zelensky which is profitable for Zelensky. Like he might say, oh, Fedorov is in our team, yay. But Fedorov wants a real leverage for the changes, and it is only possible to achieve as the defense minister of Ukraine, so he doesn't agree on any sort of the other position. What he says that today there are only 3 positions in the state that, in addition to the military on the battlefield, really determine the course of war: President, Minister of Defense, and the Commander-in-Chief. That is why I do not agree to any other position except the position of a Minister of Defense. And people on the streets, people on the internet, they also support Fedorov. Now he has the support of 73% of people. According to the latest statistics, 73. This is the same percentage with which Zelensky was elected as the president before. And Fedorov, he communicates with people openly. And he tells, okay, defense minister, or maybe if there are elections, he could be this guy. He's not telling it openly that he is going to be run for president's office, but he has all of the chances to win in this case. However, at the same time, we don't have time to wait till some of the forecasted presidential elections somewhere in the future. Who knows when they gonna happen? We need changes right now. So his proposal is to basically return to his cabinet with his team and do the same job as they've done before without any sort of the obstacles from Syrskyi. And Zelensky himself, he told to people, okay, there was the confrontation between Fedorov and Syrskyi, so I had to decide, and Fedorov is gone. And later on, people said that we do not agree, and Zelensky changed Syrskyi for Drapati, so he hurt those people, even though he didn't communicate with people, which is very strange as for Zelensky, because before he always felt people, but now it seems like this feeling is gone. And we know that there are no elections in Ukraine, but still, will of people is out there, and Zelensky should listen to what people want. Because for people now, they think that it's the personal confrontation, not between Fedorov and Syrskyi, but between Fedorov and Zelensky. It seems like Zelensky doesn't like Fedorov because he is a popular, I would say already, politician and successful defense minister who attracted lots of the attention, and also because Fedorov was blocking all of the corrupt schemes which are connected to Yermak and others. So if the real reason what Zelensky said is gone, like Syrskyi is gone, there is no confrontation, it means that there is a will of a president not to appoint Fedorov to his previous position, where he was damn successful. And people, like, there was the hope, and still there is the hope, especially with Drapati, but we need all of the ingredients for the perfect recipe to fight Russia harder. And now what people see that president, because of his ambitious ego, is not appointing a successful defense minister who was changing everything for good, they wouldn't trust that president any longer. So that's the big mistake of Zelensky that still continues, my friends. And that's why people continue to go on the streets and protest. I don't know for how long it may continue, but people are not okay with that. They're telling Zelensky that he should recognize his main mistake, potentially the worst mistake of the war. By the way, Mikhailo Drapati was the only high-rank Ukrainian commander who supported Fedorov, and he was fired by Zelensky. Well, I hope there is the place for the change. I hope that Fedorov will be returned back. From the Kyiv Independent, talented professionals who sincerely want to serve their country will now think twice before entering government. They will understand that if they insist on implementing the constitution, enforcing the law, fighting corruption, and challenging poor governance, they are unlikely to remain in office for long, writes Elena Trihup, the founder of the Independent Anti-Corruption Commission. I agree with that, 100%. So the system is still a swamp. Russia cannot win, Russia is losing, Russia is weak. But with the current swamp in Ukraine, Russia still has potential. So changes are necessary. Well, I guess it's all what I want to tell in this video. Stand by for more updates today, and please support my job on Patreon if you can, of course. The link for it is in the video description right below, or join membership of YouTube channel by pressing button join. Thank you so much for making this content possible. You are just amazing. Also, don't forget to press like to this video and subscribe for the channel. We are on the way to reach 1 million subscribers, hopefully this year. And as usual, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.